Okay, so yesterday we started talking about adding and subtracting positive and negative mixed numbers. Okay, so, whoops, while that gets up here, the two problems I had for you to try were 2 1/4 minus a negative 2 1/3 and 6 7/8 plus a negative 10 3/4. Okay, so let's go over each of these. In the first one, what do you see? What do we need to do with the signs? Think of integer rules. We're subtracting, so we have to do what with subtraction of integers? So, yeah, we have to change it to adding. What is that phrase that we use? Keep,
change, flip,
add. So keep the first one, change this to addition, flip this to its opposite, which is a positive, and then add like we would a normal integer, right? Okay, so from here, well, now we have 2 1/4 plus 2 1/3. Done. Okay. Do we like them written out like this? No, so let's rewrite them up and down. Okay, and then I'm going to just erase that. Next step, what do we do? Good, which is? Yes, the least common denominator is 12. Okay, and now, using multiplication, how did we go from 3 to 12? And what we do to the bottom? Okay. And how did we use multiplication to go from 4 to 12? Multiplied by 3. And what we do to the bottom? So 1 times 3 is 3. Now we simply, and we get, okay, we cannot forget our whole numbers, 4 and 7/12. These are gone now, okay? Who got that? Good. More than half of us, almost, I would say 75%, so that's awesome. Okay, so 4 and 7/12 was the answer to that one. Let's go to number 2. Okay, are we adding or subtracting? Good, and what's the rule with adding? Adding integers or positive and negative numbers. What's the rule? Same sign, you take the sum, the sign stays the same. Different signs, we take the difference. The biggest digit wins the sign. Okay? You have to start looking back at that if you're not remembering. Okay? We're still doing positive and negatives here. So, we're adding, same or different? Different, so we subtract. And the biggest number wins the sign. So our answer in the end is going to be what? Positive or negative? Good. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write that negative there right now. Okay? And now we're going to subtract them. Well, which one? What makes sense? What am I going to put on top? 10 3/4. So right away, what we're going to do is we're going to switch this. 6 and 7/8. And I know my answer is going to be a negative. And then I'm going to forget about him. Okay? Done. Now it's just a normal fraction addition problem. Mixed number addition, right? Okay? Common denominator is 8. Okay? Did we change anything with this fraction? No. How did we go using multiplication from 4 to 8? Times it by 2. So what we do to the denominator? Do to the numerator, and we get 6. 6 plus 7 is 13/8. 10 plus 6 is? Are we done? No. What's our final answer, boys and girls? Try that again. Negative 17 and 5/8. Very good. Okay, so negative 17 and 5/8. Any questions? Now what we're going to do today is we're going to start discussing how we would use our knowledge and multiply and divide mixed numbers. Okay, so we're going to take some notes. Multiplying positive and negative mixed numbers. I went ahead and put this in a step-by-step format for us. Okay? This is hopefully going to be fairly easy for the majority of us because we know our basic facts. Okay? There's a total of 4 steps. Step 1. What I write? Thank you. Okay. Step 1 is this. Make sure that you write each value as a fraction. What do I mean by that? What does a fraction look like? Ooh, go ahead, Harry. Oops, sorry. Nope, not Harry. Help.
Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan. Okay, never mind.
A fraction has a number, and then it has like a line under that number.
Exactly. Okay? A numerator over the denominator. Okay? Simple one number over another. That's a fraction. Okay? So step 1 is to make sure we have fractions only in the problem. So we're going to change them. How do we change a mixed number to an improper fraction? How do we change a mixed number into an improper fraction? Go, Gilbert.
Multiply the denominator by, I don't know what that's.
Whole number.
Whole number, and then multiply, and then add the numerator.
Very good. So in the end, we're going to get what for this example?
7/3.
Exactly, 7/3. Make sure you know that. Okay? All right. Here we go. Step 2. Step 2, we're going to cross cancel. What is cross canceling? Cross canceling is when we divide a value in the numerator. Numerator is the number on the, thank you. Oops. And a value in the denominator by the same number. In other words, we are doing what action? We are reducing. Okay? So when we cross cancel in this step 2 here, what we are really doing, we're reducing. So step 2 is reduce or cross cancel. Okay? Step 3, okay. So we have them in fraction form. We reduced them as small as we can by looking at the numerators and denominators and seeing if we have a greatest common factor bigger than 1. And then now we need to multiply. Straight across. Multiplying straight across. So what we're going to do is, if I have a fraction here and I'm multiplying it by a fraction here, we're literally going to say this number times this number equals this number. And this number on the denominator times this number on the denominator equals this number. That is our answer. Once we reduced, however, these are going to change. They might change to 1, they might change to 2. Okay, so make sure you realize that those might change into smaller, more reduced numbers. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a different step for dividing, or should we?
All right, step 4. After you're done just multiplying straight across, your step 4 is to make sure that you change all improper fractions to mixed numbers. So step 4 is to simplify. Simplify those fractions. Simplify the answer. Okay? How do we simplify? Like I said, improper fraction change to mixed number. If you did not reduce fully in step 2, you will also have to reduce again here. If you did reduce fully and accurately in step 2, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is make sure they're not improper fractions. How do you change a mixed number to an improper fraction? Or excuse me, how do you change an improper fraction to a mixed number? Go ahead. How? For example, 13/5. How do I do that? Ethan?
You divide the number.
Good. Which number divided by which number? The numerator divided by the denominator. Okay? Your example I gave you was 13/5. Okay? So we're going to take 13 divided by 5. We're going to get 2 with 3 remaining. Okay? So our answer is going to be 2 and 3/5. Okay? So numerator divided by the denominator. This is simplifying. Now, because we're accelerated and we're looking at positive and negative numbers, or positive and negative mixed numbers, we need a 5th step. You need to check your sign. How are we going to do that? When we're multiplying, how do we know if the answer is negative or positive? What's the trick with multiplying integers? Think back. What's the trick with multiplying decimals? Now we're going to have a trick with multiplying fractions. Guess what? It's all the same. It's all the same idea. What's a negative times a negative? Good. What's a negative times a positive? Awesome. And how do we figure that out? What do we use? Somebody in here knows it. You use the pyramid. A negative, negative, positive. Okay? So make sure you check your sign. Figure out, is it going to be a negative answer or is it going to be a positive answer? Okay? Questions?